Good afternoon, YouTube. Good morning, good evening, depending on where you are and when you're listening to this. I wanted to share my new project or purchase, you want to call this. It's basically a grow light stand, and it has three grow light trays. This is the bottom level, the middle level, and that's the top level. And I purchased this from Gardener's Supply website. I think it's called gardeners.com. Let's see. Here's the information if you're interested. Amazon also sells this, and obviously Gardener's Supply sells them too. And this runs about $600. And it's made of metal. This is the ones that has the wheels, so it's easy to move. It is very easy to move. And I wanted to share all the mistakes I made while assembling this unit. I am a novice when it comes to assembly. I'm not like super novice, but I'm pretty new in assembly. Usually I cannot do things by myself. I always have to end up calling my husband for help. And this time I had decided that I am not going to bother him and do this by myself. So this was assembled completely 100% by me, and it took forever because I made so many mistakes. I think I made all the mistakes possible that anybody can make. I made them. So yeah, it was a very painful process, and I'm going to share some of those things, some of the mistakes that I made, so when you guys assemble it, if you ever buy this, you don't run into the same thing. I think if I have the instructions, if the instructions were a little bit more broken down with a picture, here's this is where it goes, more labeling on the pieces itself, I could have, made fewer mistakes. So let me go ahead and start the mistake. So here's the piece of information that it comes with. The standard 3-tier sunlight garden, and here it's listing the things you need. I really needed only a screwdriver and a rubber mallet, and that's pretty much what I needed. I will have to buy like a extension cord for all the 3 lights to be plugged in, because right now there are 3 plugs hanging, and I cannot turn it on because I don't have an extension cord right now available. But yeah, this is the back side. So there's 4 pages of instructions. So here we go. So the first step is where I made mistake. It's telling you that you need to use a rubber mallet and tap the end plug onto the top of each S1R vertical bar. So we have 4 vertical bars, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And here's the one that I screwed up. This has 4 holes, as you can see. And it comes with 2 types of end pieces. This is, there it is. This is the small end, and then there is a larger end that is like this long. Well, I did it wrong. So I took the small piece, which I thought was on the top end. I thought this was the top end. This is not the top end, okay, because this is almost 1.5 inches or pretty long. So I put this one over here, which is wrong. I should have put the, yeah, I should have put the long one over here. And on the other side, I should have, this is where this should have gone. Versus I tried to put in the big one over here. And once I put in this big one here, I was not able to remove it. I tried different things. I tried to warm it, to try to pull it. I tried everything. I just could not take it out. So you can see, yeah, I'm not that great with this. And basically what I did is I closed up this hole, if you can see, because that thing is pretty long. So that's number one. Luckily, I only made this mistake in the first one, and I realized that I made a mistake. So that's why it took me such a long time, because now I have to wait 5 days. I actually called the Gardener Supply Company. I told them this is what I did, can't get it out. What should I do? They were nice enough to send me another piece of this and the new end cap for the one that I ruined. So yeah, so that took me 4 days. So now I have all these things laid out on the floor, trying to get this assembled, and I can't. I have to wait 5 days. So it was a bit inconvenient, because one of my rooms where I was assembling this, and now I can't use that room because everything is, you know, on the floor. And I didn't know how long it was going to take to ship. So it took 5 days. The next mistake I made, actually I made more than two. So the next mistake I made was, again, let me see, it's on the other side. Here is the big hole, and you know, the small holes, and this is the indented side. So I assumed, you know, the indented side would go inside on the outside, and the flat side would go inside. And that is the case for every single side except the sides where there is more than one connections. So this is 1, 2, and then this itself. So this particular one, what you have to do is you have to put the big hole on this outside and indent it on the inside, so you can screw it in, and that screw is all the way flush to this, and so that this screw can pass through and go and screw this up. Well, I assembled everything, including, you know, all these side things and almost everything. And then when I went to the last bottom one, I found out, oh, I can't screw because this other screw is in the middle, because the way I had this big hole facing inside. So it was a mess. I had to unassemble everything, which took me in 30 minutes or so, and reassemble everything, which took me another hour. The reason is because at that stage I had already installed these coasters, you know, the rolling coasters, and what happens is it becomes very slippery. It starts moving while you're assembling, and it was impossible to do it myself. However, I did it myself, but it just took a very long time. So if I had not made those two major mistakes, I think I could have assembled this easily within 2 hours. So I think the assembly itself is pretty easy, but I'm a newbie, you know. I'm not very smart when it comes to installation and assembly stuff, so I can't do a shed or something like that. You know, I can put up a fence with kettle panel and T-posts, and zip ties, but I think this was a little bit complex because the instructions were not, you know, here, take this piece and it should look like this. This is all the images we have. That's it. And it doesn't say the big hole needs to be on this side, and you know, it doesn't talk about that. Well, it kind of does over here on the top. But it's not that piece. So yeah, I wish there were more instructions with pictures. I'm a very visual person, so I hope this helps you guys when you assemble it. And out of all these mistakes, you know, when I was doing my tube lights, I made sure I did one first the whole way, even though instruction says, you know, you do this, then you go ahead and assemble all, and then you do this, and then you do this, all this stuff. I actually did the whole piece for the first one, so I know exactly what to do for the rest of the things. So if I mess up in the first one, I don't repeat the same mistake on the next one. So I am really happy the way this looks. It's pretty tall. I think it's 6 feet tall and it's pretty wide, so it's gonna hold a lot of seeds come this 2018 spring. Right now I am planning to grow some cilantro and basil indoors for the winter, because that's something I use throughout the whole year. So, and maybe some lettuce. So those are the 3 things I am going to start here very soon, probably today. Just need to get some pots filled up with soil and get the seeds started, and then I will turn on the grow lights. And yeah, I have to get the extension cord. So that's all. I have not really used it, you know, how the grow lights are working. I mean, I turned it on and I saw the lights look great. Lights are made in China. However, this frame itself is made in US. So that's what I like about it. You know, the frame is pretty sturdy. It's pretty good. And the usability is pretty easy. Of course, I need 2 hands to lower the lights. I need 2 hands. I can't do it right now while I'm recording. But if I have the 2 hands, I can pick this up and pull it thing and clip it here. So the pulley system works pretty good. I like it so far. But once I use it, I'll have more input on the grow lights. Well, thank you for watching. I hope this helps. And I will continue sharing my experience with this grow lights, and I'm hoping for a great green 2018 seasons where I'll have like lots of tomatoes and peppers and all these things, all the seeds that I've bought from Baker Creek. So stay tuned and keep watching my next adventure. Thank you guys. Have an awesome day. Thanks.